Wow, there it is, folks. Oh, the Rainbow Bridge. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Did you know that the Peace Bridge, that Pete Gallivan told me, that the Peace Bridge, the way it's designed, it's supposed to resemble a skipping rock. Did you know that?
He makes stuff up.
So it goes like this, so it's a skipping rock. That's what he...
Hey,
Pete says stuff, I believe it.
He makes stuff up.
I believe it.
Believe it, Irishman.
Right.
No, I believe. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a skipping rock.
I do believe that. You know how the Rainbow Bridge got its name?
No.
Because of all the rainbows you could see over the Niagara Falls.
That makes sense.
There you go.
Okay, so that didn't take a lot of thinking to come up with it. I mean, that's pretty clear.
I think they name a lot of roads and bridges just around like what's around them.
Right.
Like I always joke that they cut down the trees. Oh, there you go. There's a piece right there.
See that? It looks like a skipping rock.
I'm from Lancaster, where they cut down the trees and then they name the streets after them. And I've also
you have a sycamore and oak.
That's it. That's it. Just chop down the trees, and then we'll honor them with the street name. And then there are some street names that they have no thought in, like Pavement Road. We have a pavement.
Do you really?
Road in Lancaster. It's called Well, what should we call this road? Well, what are you looking at? Pavement. Pavement Road. That's what they
So, speaking of roads and weird names, sorry.
Go ahead.
My name is Patrick.
Yeah.
Born on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
What street do I live on?
Patrick?
Shamrock.
Oh, do you really?
Isn't that funny?
That's awesome.
It's like when we moved to Shamrock, we're like, okay, enough is enough. Let's get rid of this whole St. Patrick's thing.
That's crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Like, I live on Studley Lane.
I knew it.
No, it's not true at all. It's not true at all. But I do live. I like a little gin. Gin's made from juniper, and I live right off Juniper. So in Lancaster, in case you want to come by and have a gin and tonic with me.
Oh, that's crazy stuff.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do anything outdoors this weekend, I described it as bad, better, best.
I love it. That makes total sense.
For the 3-day weekend.
Which really focus, like, let's get the bad out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we've got better, and then the best. We save the best for last.
That's right. There you go.
Blame it on Millie. Okay, this is usually a yacht rock review, but now we're kind of branching out into the Milli Vanilli.
I remember Milli Vanilli and the scandal, and there was another scandal. CNC Music Factory was another one.
Oh, did they do
they had a super gorgeous girl in their videos, but she is not the singer.
She's not. Oh, that's right.
It was the girl from Weather Girls.
Okay.
It's Raining Men.
Yes.
The same girl that sings It's Raining Men is the real voice of CNC Music Factory. But she aesthetically apparently doesn't look as good as the model that they use in the videos. But that was a bit of a scandal too.
Yeah.
The misrepresentation.
Well, it's funny when we watch Weekend Weather, it's really not Kevin.
That's right.
Kevin's there to look good, but the real voice and the real forecasting comes from somebody behind the scenes.
A smart person.
Right, just kidding. All right, let's get to the forecast. We'll get into it quick because if we hear more Milli Vanilli, that video is crazy where it skips and he runs off stage because it's like blame it on the blame it. The
what? The video where they got caught?
The video when they got exposed.
Oh, how funny!
Because the record skipped.
Yep.
Okay.
Remember Ashley Simpson got exposed like that.
Oh, who was the host of that?
I do not know.
Jude Law.
Oh, fun fact.
He was the host of Saturday Night Live, and she got stuck lip syncing
with the wrong lip sync.
Okay, let's refocus. All right, here we go. This is a look at May. Have you felt like it's been a wet month? It has. This is a look at days of rain in the month of May, and it seems like we've had measurable rain in almost all the days. 10, where I think up to 12 monthly precip is above normal. But this is what I feel is even more interesting, and that is ranking the springs in terms of rainfall. If we think of spring, which meteorological spring is March, April, May, okay? We're not even done with May, and right now we stand in 4th place of the wettest springs on record. With the rain we're getting tomorrow, we're going to easily jump to number 3, which is 1991, which, by the way, if you recall, I don't know if you remember this, but 1991 was technically or unofficially the year without a summer.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had Pinatubo, that Philippine eruption, volcanic eruption, sent tremendous amount of water vapor into the atmosphere, and it kind of cooled the...
Cloudy and cool, yep.
Okay. Then 2017, which was just 9 years ago, we're not going to get to this level. That's crazy. And then 2011, by the way, a year Kevin and I are going to be talking about coming up in our second segment, where we're going to be talking about some history that was made on this date in 2011. Okay, more on that coming up. Anyway, we're going to go to third place in terms of rain. So I'm going to quickly adjust the screenshot here so you can get a better view. There we go. Okay, there's a look at Lake Erie. Notice the sky has gotten kind of milky. High cloud deck has moved in advance of the rain that will be here tomorrow. So increasing clouds, we'll call it partly cloudy and pleasant. Temperatures today in the mid 60s. Tomorrow, an all-day rain, all day, starts probably around daybreak, sunrise, lasts all day. Might even show up a little earlier than that. Temperatures as a result only in the mid 50s, and it will be breezy. And looking ahead, mainly dry though, Sunday and Monday. Some showers are possible Sunday morning. Buffalo Marathon, race time is 6:30, I believe. The 5K is tomorrow, by the way, so that's going to be wet. The marathon may start off with a few showers, and then it should be dry after that. So today, 66. Tomorrow, 10 degrees cooler, clouds, rain, and by the way, it'll be breezy too. So just kind of just not great. A cool, breezy, rainy day. A good excuse to do nothing if you can, right? Not much outdoor chores are going to be done tomorrow. But there's a lot of folks that do have to be outside regardless, so be prepared for the rain. Do farmers markets go on in the rain, I believe? Okay, you got one in Hamburg, you got one in Springville. I know you, what's that? The Elmwood, of course. Elmwood Village has got a good farmers market. All right, temperatures currently in the 50s. We're going to manage the mid 60s by day's end. There are the high clouds. Notice there are no radar returns because these clouds are thin, not thick enough to produce rain. Different story, though, across, this is near, let's see, West Tennessee. That's Paducah. That's where a center of low pressure is, and that is heading our way and will spin up some rain for us, it looks like, tomorrow morning. Here is future look for the rest of the day today. Lots of clouds. Here comes the rain starting in the morning. Kevin will be here tomorrow morning tracking the rain, and it's going to be a pretty soggy day. There's signs that it may let up a little bit in the afternoon across the southern tier especially, but just plan on needing the umbrella pretty much all day with maybe a few hours of dry time later on. Then the showers kind of wrap up quickly Sunday morning, but there may be enough left over that there could be some showers for the marathon again tomorrow, Sunday morning. And then Sunday looks pretty quiet after that, and so does Monday. A slight chance of a shower Sunday night. Rain totals, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain. That's why this will easily go down as the third wettest spring when you add that rainfall to our spring totals. Today's highs, mid 60s. Tomorrow, mid 50s because of the rain. And then on Sunday, upper 60s, showers in the morning. And then as we head towards Memorial Day, 70s, dry weather should be the best, as Kevin said. Bad, better, best. Best is Memorial Day. So there again is the forecast for the weekend, getting better day by day. All right, then for today, mostly sunny, some increasing clouds. Tonight, cloudy. Tomorrow, the rain. And there you can see showers into Sunday, dry weather on Memorial Day, and much of next week, an extended period of dry weather on the way. Hey, do you remember this? 15 years ago today, Joplin, Missouri, a horrific situation caused by one of the strongest tornadoes and one of the deadliest in U.S. history. We're going to talk about that day, other things that happened on this day, and then, of course, a look at the hurricane season. But here, we'll go to a look at what happened in southern Missouri 15 years ago.
From fires to tornadoes to flooding, 2026 has already seen a deluge of wicked weather. And with the Atlantic hurricane season just over a week away, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration is outlooking a below-average season with the potential for 8 to 14 named storms. Of those, 3 to 6 hurricanes, including 1 to 3 major hurricanes, Category 3 or above.
Even though we're expecting a below-average season in the Atlantic, it's very important to understand that it only takes one. We have had Category 5s make landfall in the past during below average seasons.
But the reason for the anticipated quiet in the Atlantic is also concerning: a budding moderate to strong El Nino and the above average cyclone season in the Pacific.
The Eastern Pacific, we're expecting 15 to 22 named storms, 9 to 14 hurricanes, 5 to 9 major hurricanes. And in the Central Pacific, we're expecting 5 to 13 tropical cyclones.
This weather pattern is expected to redraw global weather maps, sparking flooding for some and drought and wildfires for others. The forecasts come amid ongoing upheaval at the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which President Donald Trump pushed to dismantle in 2025. But with Secretary Markwayne Mullin now at the helm of the Department of Homeland Security, the administration is working to stabilize and reform FEMA. For its part, NOAA says it is ready for whatever Mother Nature has in store. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
So that was obviously the about this year's upcoming Atlantic storm system. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about this day in weather history 15 years ago, really a dubious event. This is the anniversary of. We'll have a little fun too with some of the hurricane names. There's a new one this year. Talk about that after the break. Still waiting for a Kevin.
There hasn't been a Hurricane Kevin?
No.
Other than the one that does weekend weather here?
That's right.
Okay.
So guess what letter has had the most retired names?
Well, I would think,
This is nobody knows this.
C?
I only looked it up. I only know it
C?
because I looked it up. It's I. The letter I.
What? How many? Iona? Ian?
Ian was a biggie. Wasn't there an Isis? Isaiah?
Ivan. That was one.
Ivan was a biggie too.
Ivan the Terrible.
So there are about, I think, 9 or 10 retired storm names. So what it is, there's actually a 6-year rotation of names. The same names this year were used in 2020. But if a storm is particularly notorious for deadly or for damages, then they retire.
Katrina, Andrew,
Gone.
Neil.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was listed is a 6-year rotation. Names are retired for notorious storms, and in 2020, Hurricane Laura was the costliest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The costly, really?
2020 was it nailed like the Gulf states. There was another one with a Greek name, Eta.
Yeah.
That was devastating for Central America.
Now, okay, so
there was one that was deadlier.
They went Greek because it went through the entire alphabet, all the way through Z.
Yeah.
And then I think that was 24.
Yeah, they went all the way to the Greek. Yeah, there
were so many hurricanes.
There are 12. Yeah, I'll show you the list. There are 21 names, and then once you get down all 21, then they go to Greek letters. They stopped that.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, but they skip Q and U and then XYZ are all skipped.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. So these are the new names, and now again, the only one they had to replace. These are all used in 2020, but they replaced Laura. So Leah. Welcome has entered the chat.
Because I look at these names and none of them stick out of. I remember.
I remember Cristobal.
I remember Edward.
And Edward.
ECAS.
Yeah, Isaias.
ECIAS.
Yeah, there are some that are difficult to pronounce.
I don't remember a Hurricane Nana.
Yeah, I don't know.
Teddy.
Yeah, but they were all.
Yeah.
We made it.
I remember
we did make it to Teddy. I remember that.
Really?
Yeah, we did make it.
Okay, I would say this is taking from a Robin Williams famous routine.
Sure, go ahead.
Who did a thing about hurricane names and how he felt they should have kind of menacing names to evoke, response and, maybe not to evoke fear, but to evoke strength.
Like Bubba.
But if you've got a cat for Hurricane Teddy.
Right.
Teddy's like a little toy.
Oh, Teddy's coming. Wonderful. Right. But we've had some menacing. Think of Melissa, who's lovely. We love our Melissa.
As a hurricane, no bueno.
No bueno. It's right. I remember Matthew. It sounds like, Matthew's coming. Matthew is gonna bring a little martini. But he was a monster too. So these are the names, and they alternate between male and female. Hurricanes used to be all female, But then they said, wait a minute, we're going to start alternating. So now it goes male, female, male, female, male, female. You know, it's all the way down there. And yeah, and so there you go. So Wilfred, and once they get through Wilfred now, they're not going to go to Greek letters. Hopefully we don't make it.
So what if you go? So what does it go after W now?
They have like bonus names. Now I think they should just add Q, U, X, Y, Z.
Right, but
just put them on there.
What? Don Quixote?
Quixote.
Quixote?
Quincy, Quinn.
Oh, Quincy.
Whatever.
That was a great show.
Quintavious. Just come up with names. Yeah, fantastic. Just come up with 6 Q names, and it's easy to do. And X, Y, Z. Why not?
What would you be?
Well, we got
Umbra.
Oh, we got Ursula.
Ursula.
Of course.
Of course.
Upton.
Upton.
Yeah.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Ulysses.
Ulysses.
Yeah, you can come up with names. Absolutely fantastic. So these are the names that the 2026. Thankfully, as you saw in the package, it is expected to be a below average hurricane year in the Atlantic.
And that's because of a developing El Nino. Typically, when you have an El Nino ocean pattern, temperature pattern, it creates a lot more wind or shear in the Atlantic basin and less. Doesn't mean there's no hurricanes, just less. But you still can have some really bad ones.
This is the 15-year anniversary of a very somber day in weather history. In fact, it was 15 years ago. You have a personal story. You were on the air in another market.
Another market. But yeah, if you remember this, folks, there was a horrible, horrible tornado in this state in 2011. Joplin, Missouri was ravaged by an EF5 tornado, and it was incredibly deadly. In fact, we'll go through it here.
Are these okay? These are your stats. Okay.
Yeah, this is, and we'll go through some things that Kevin put together. But anyway, there is Joplin. Okay, this is again in far southwestern Missouri, and the tornado kind of sliced a path literally right through town. It was on a Sunday. It was graduation day, as Kevin will talk about a little bit, and it was an EF5 with a track that was incredibly long and incredibly in a very populous area, crossing just to the south of the heart of downtown. You can see that track was very, very long. EF5 was a mile wide in its greatest width.
That's insane.
A mile wide.
A mile wide.
That is crazy.
You think of the tornadoes we had recently in Cat County, unfortunately.
A couple hundred yards.
They lasted. They were on the ground for less than a mile, but this was a mile wide from Chippewa to the Skyway.
Yep.
The width.
And it traveled 22 miles. So you take it, that would mean it would go from here all the way to Eden.
Oh my gosh.
Think about that. You got 18 Mile Creek in Hamburg. You go another couple miles, you're in Eden. So that would be the distance. So scary stuff. Okay, so my personal story is at the same time, the same day of the Joplin tornado, another tornado took place that would have gotten major headlines, save for the fact that something far worse was going on in Joplin, Missouri. By the way, 158 people lost their lives and over 4,000 homes were damaged. In Minneapolis, and I was on the air covering this, we didn't really know what was going on in Joplin because we were focused here. We had a tornado. It was an EF1, not the biggest thing, but it was in the heart of a city, okay? And it unfortunately killed 2 people, actually.
Oh
one during the tornado and one during the cleanup.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, I remember covering this. Again, it was the same day as that tornado. It was an EF1, 100 miles per hour. And 13 miles is what it traveled from western parts of the city of Minneapolis.
Was it like downtown or?
It was right. Okay, so just north of downtown in a very populous area.
Where's St. Paul?
Okay, here's St. Paul's here.
Okay.
There's Minneapolis.
Okay.
This is the Mississippi, of course.
Right. Yep.
And by the way, just a little geography here.
Sure.
This is one area where the Mississippi actually travels north to south to north.
Oh, fun fact.
This bend here.
Oh, look at that, south to north.
Is where the river bends. So you've got a very strange situation where the Mississippi's going the wrong way. Anyway, but yeah, and here's Wisconsin and Stillwater River divides the two. Anyway, so there we go. That's my story about May 11th, 15 years ago.
Okay, after the break, some more facts about this day in weather history. We'll see you on the other side.
Oh, this is St. Louis,
Hey.
the Gateway City.
There it is. So if there was a hurricane, Patrick, would you want like a menacing giant one, or would you want to be like a polite hurricane?
Well, I think if it's going to be Hurricane Hammer, it's got to be, you know.
Yeah, with it, yeah,
It can't be a
Like
Cat
a
1.
gentle-
It's got to be. But I want mine to stay out at sea.
Oh, okay.
Just churn a bunch of
There you-
marlin.
That's right.
You know,
A fish storm.
No impact on any
Right.
life or property.
We should
But a big old strong storm.
If you get, and by the way, the Pacific Basin has a separate list of names.
And by the way, the Pacific Basin is also a lot more active. You get far more hurricane activity in the, well, not far more, but a lot more in the Eastern Pacific and the Western Pacific, which is where they're called typhoons.
I would imagine they're going to have a busier hurricane season.
A very good point. Both the East Pacific and the West Pacific should have active years, and so the Central Pacific, which is where, if Hawaii ever gets impacted by a hurricane, it's out of the Central Pacific.
15 years ago, again, a somber day in weather history. The deadliest tornado since 1947, 161 fatality. I think you said a different number.
I said 158.
Well, because what happens with 158 died that day, and I think there were 3 afterwards.
Okay.
It's still the most damage ever. You think of all the inflation we've had, right? But still, the most financially damaging storm 15 years ago, Joplin, Missouri. Where is Joplin? Is it north,
south? Okay, yeah, Springfield is
Yeah.
in southwest. It's west of Springfield,
Okay.
so it's in far southwestern Missouri.
EF5, to get the EF5, you have to be 200 miles an hour. And the estimates are, this is mind-blowing. The wind estimate's 225 to 250. That's astounding.
That's crazy.
That's just the power of nature.
That's the speed at which airlines land.
I mean, think of that.
Yeah.
Think of the wind. Think about I've been outside, and you've been outside at worse, but I've been outside with 70-mile-an-hour winds. But I mean, it's
This past winter when we had 80 in that January day, it was incredible. Imagine 3 times that.
225.
Right.
This is another astounding thing. 38 minutes on the ground. So it was a mile long.
Uh-huh.
It went from here to Eden.
Right.
And it was on the ground for 38 minutes.
That's
God
God,
bless.
that's
And in a populated place like Joplin, Missouri, on a Sunday, like this time of year, people were gathering for events.
You said graduations, right?
Graduations, and people did the right thing. They went inside the Walmart or the Target, and it didn't matter with these speeds. So it was just a terrible day. But we'll end on a good note anyway. Rain tomorrow. You always say bad, better, best for your weekend. But we're looking forward to the temperatures
drying out.
There you go.
Finally, my goodness.
All right, all of the bad detail, the wet details for you tomorrow morning with handsome Rob Hackford.